Hey guys, Tito James here. Some of you have been asking for this. I've been excitedly waiting for this smartphone. Let's unbox the small but powerful Asus Zenfone 8. Alright kids, so this is the box for the Asus Zenfone 8. Super fresh and still has the shrink wrap, so let's slice it open and see what's inside. Now the first thing you'll see when you open it up is the separate cardboard box that has some of its accessories. It says Defy Ordinary, but doesn't it remind you of Carlos Project 721 logo? Comment down below if you think so. So in that box, you do have some documentation. You're also getting a hard plastic case similar to what we saw on the 8 Flip, which I absolutely love. It's a big step up from the ones we usually see from other smartphones. And of course, you're getting a super tiny SIM ejector pin as well. Next up is the phone itself. I don't know if I'm the only one who does this, but I actually prefer sliding off the protective plastic that wraps the device, mostly because we do have to return some of the phones after we review them. Anyway, we have the obsidian black colorway of the Zenfone 8, and this is the version with 16GB of RAM, but Asus also sent over the more affordable 8GB version in Horizon Silver, so you guys can see which one you actually prefer. Personally, the silver has my vote, also I'm very sorry for the fingerprints. It's also worth noting that the case for the silver version of the Zenfone will come in gray to match the device. Very thoughtful from the folks over at Asus. Moving on to the rest of the accessories, actually there's only two left. We have the charging brick, which is the same 30 watts that we got with the Zenfone Flip, and the USB-C charging cable. So just a quick overview of everything you're getting out of the box. You have the phone itself, documents, a case, SIM ejector pin, charger, and charging cable. Okay, so now it's finally time to talk about the phone. I absolutely love the form factor because just look at it. I'm really excited to try out a tiny flagship because it's been a while. But first, let's talk about its price. So I did mention that we have both variants, so here's the price for both. The one with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage is priced at 34,995 pesos, and the maxed out version with 16GB and 256GB respectively is 39,995. I think it's a great price point, but that's just based on my initial experience with this phone so far. I know that some of you are probably gonna say that it's overpriced, but let's see if that's gonna be worth it after a couple of days trying it out. Anyway, it's time for a closer look at the phone itself. Now, like I said earlier, I love the form factor of this phone. I've been gravitating towards smaller devices recently because I feel that they're just easier to carry around, especially now that I really try not to bring too much when I have to run errands, so I have less to disinfect when I get home. Now, just as a size comparison, this is the Asus Zenfone 8 beside the 8 Flip, and one of my daily drivers, the iPhone 12. As far as build quality is concerned, you are getting a glass panel on the back, which is Gorilla Glass 3. It has a matte finish, good job Asus. It has an aluminum frame, and the screen is protected by Gorilla Glass Victus, so it's extra tough, but we're not going to be testing that out in this video. Now the screen of the Zenfone 8 measures in below 6 inches, so it's at 5.9, and it's also using an AMOLED panel just like the Flip. The main difference here though is that it has a refresh rate of 120Hz, so again, swiping around to navigate through the device will be incredibly smooth. It's also adaptive to help conserve battery life, but you can set it to go full 120Hz, 90 or 60 if you really want to make this phone last a little longer. The experience with the display has been fantastic, and the color accuracy, at least in terms of the specs that we've seen on their website, should very much be on point. And just like the Flip, you also have stereo speakers to make watching content more enjoyable. Unlike the Flip, the Zenfone 8 still has a headphone jack, so if you have a good pair of wired headphones, this should be good news. While we're at it, let's take a tour of the rest of the phone's button and port layout, where you have the power button and volume rocker on the right side, the SIM tray, USB-C port, and speaker grill on the bottom. And while the left side is pretty much empty, you do have some antenna lines, which I haven't seen in a while. It's more noticeable on the silver one though. For the cameras, you have a 12 megapixel selfie shooter, which is housed in the punch hole on the upper left-hand corner of the screen. That's backed by a Sony IMX663 sensor with dual pixel PDAF. And for the cameras on the back, you're getting a dual camera setup which consists of a 64 megapixel main camera at an aperture of f1.8. It has a Sony IMX686 sensor, and I'm sure a lot of you are gonna be happy about this. Yes, it does have OIS. For the second camera, it's at 12 megapixels. It's an ultra-wide at an aperture of f2.2. So definitely good to know that the main camera on this has OIS, unlike the Flip. We've only been able to take a handful of shots so far, but follow us on IG at Unbox PH, where I will be posting photos from the Zenfone 8 to show you guys. Now in terms of internals, you have the same processor as the Zenfone 8 Flip, a Qualcomm Snapdragon 888, and again, two different configurations, so it will all depend on how much RAM and storage you'll actually need on your device. But if you ask me, I think it will handle anything and everything you throw at it without any issue. So the last thing to talk about is the battery on the Zenfone 8. Now, given how tiny this smartphone is, I wasn't really expecting anything massive, but it's still pretty good at 4,000 milliamp hours. Now, you may need to top up in the middle of the day if you insist on having the display at 120 Hz, or maybe even if you have it on auto, but we'll see. Thankfully though, it does support 30-watt charging, so topping it up shouldn't take that long given the battery capacity as well. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this unboxing of the Asus Zenfone 8. Again, I can't say it enough. I really love the form factor of this phone, but we'll see how it handles the day-to-day because I will be transferring my main SIM card to this smartphone. Anyway, that's it for me. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, sub to the channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell. If you have any questions about the Asus Zenfone 8, leave them down below and I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can. For all the latest in tech, head to unbox.ph+. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and we have a podcast on Spotify. All the links will be down below. My name is Tito James. Peace, God bless. See you guys next time, and of course, stay safe.